I have a lot of box sets on Blu-ray and DVD. A lot of them are movies, some of them are TV shows, but it all comes down to a combination of artwork. And what's a good combination of artwork for a show or a movie series, or what's a bad combination? Um, I, I'm not going to really look at movie series ones because I don't really have too many unless they're like not really custom sets, but like I've got like Friday the 13th and the Ringu series and even the Chucky ones. A lot of them are horror box sets, and usually they have a person who's done the artwork for them, and it's a whole amalgamation of stuff. Sometimes it's really simple, like the Chucky set is just designed like the child, the good guys box with Chucky in the middle. It works fine. I mean, the packaging on the inside is terrible, but the packaging on the outside is very simple, very easy, and it's iconic. The Ringu series is like it's just the Arrow video set, much like Jewel and the Grudge, which I recently showed off and talked about. It's just a collage thing that someone makes. The Friday the 13th one in particular is probably one of the better sets that I've got when it comes to emphasizing what a series is about. Obviously, you might know what it is. It's the it's this one, the Scream Factory release one, which is a whole collage that goes all the way around, showing all the different versions of Jason from his conception through to his, almost to his demise, whilst also having all the films through here with like reversible sleeves and also a big picture of his face on the top. And, my God, why do I keep doing that? Sorry. And, details on the bottom. It's a pretty simple set. It's really nice artwork. It's fine. It works fine. But I want to talk about some TV shows, because TV shows have the element of consistent progression over the course of potentially several years, if not several decades. And how do you, encapsulate that within a set? Now, I basically have three different examples, because two of them are drama series, so that's a good contrast, whereas one of them is a sitcom. The sitcom being, unfortunately, the really shitty design, but it still is what it is. It's The Office. I feel like Friends is a better example, but Friends is a white set. It lifts up and you've got DVDs inside, each one of them having their own individual artworks, basically enforcing, because obviously you didn't get a DVD release initially when it came out, so it's also like, every season shows every group of the groups of characters over the course of the seasons, so that at least makes sense. So you're like, I'm watching season 4, Rachel has a bad haircut, I don't know, some bullshit like that. The Office, on the other hand, was released in several DVDs, as shown here, which is still pretty nice. However, of course, they still had to do a total box set eventually once the whole entire show was released, despite the fact that there are plenty of shows, much like The Walking Dead, which, despite how many endless seasons it has, they will still release, after a collection of seasons, here's season 1 through 5, here's season 1 through 10, here's season 1 through 8, even though if it's been renewed for 3 more years, even if people know that this show ain't ending anytime soon, and there's a complete collection box set, even though it's not the complete collection. My parents got that when they got the Vampire Diaries. They bought the box set. It was cheap. It was on sale. It was wonderful. It wasn't the full show. It was all on Blu-ray, which is nice. But it didn't have the final season of the show, so they had to buy that one separately. Which I think pinned out, cheaper in the long run anyway, because it was cheaper to buy the box set with maybe, let's say it's a 9-season show. They bought the 8-season box set, and the 9th season was they were able to get that on sale as well, or just bought it directly from JB while it was at its regular retail price of maybe $30 or something. If you had to combine it all into one whole set, it probably would have been dearer. So, I don't know, maybe they benefited, I don't know, maybe they didn't. Nevertheless, you get something like The Office, which, you think of The Office, you think of, hey look, it's that guy who did that YouTube stuff and then stopped. Oh, hey, look, it's that chick who hasn't done anything except for those podcasts. Anyway, you get your amalgamation of the cast. You get your main face. I say main face because it even has the M logo, has the 38-disc set and everything. It emphasizes what it is all on the front cover. And it's a paper company, and look, it's Michael Scott. Look, it's that guy who's in those movies now because he became famous after the show. Cool. What's also noteworthy, that's him from I don't know, season 3, season 4 maybe? I mean, he left in season 6, didn't he? No, he left in season 7, but it was like halfway throughout season 7. Actually, I don't even think it was halfway. It was like a couple episodes in. But still, that would be. It looks like him from season 4, season 5 period. Maybe season 4 from the images on the back here, because he seems to have a very similar hairstyle for season 5, 6, and 7. So, yeah. But still, maybe season 3, season 4 period version of him. Okay. But then you look at these characters. Oh, look. That's him from, like, season 9, maybe. Actually, that's probably not season 9 him. Oh, yeah, kind of. Okay, most of them by this stage is like season 9. She's only until season 7 anyway. Yeah, look, on this side, well, John Krasinski doesn't have his shitty haircut that he had in the first few seasons, so clearly this is in the latter half of the show. I don't think any of these are really from season 9. I feel like they're probably from... Is that season 9? Is that they really had 9 seasons? I feel like it's more from, like, season 7, season 8 period. But, of course, when you have a big character leave, you can't have, like, their latest image because in the last episode that he's in, he's got grey hair, They can't exactly do that. There's a lot of sets that are like that with sitcoms where this is the same as 30 Rock, Parks and Recreation, where it has a collection of images of the characters, and it's basically usually from the last season. It's usually always from the last season. Parks and Recreation, all from the last season. It doesn't have one of the main characters who was in like the first 2 seasons because they don't give a shit about him anymore. I bought the set on DVD. I did not know that Rob Lowe was in the show. I did not know that... I didn't know that this guy, I forgot his name, was in the show either. So, of course, you get to that box set, it shows their characters. I'm thinking, oh, fuck, okay, who are these guys? And, of course, they show up by, like, season 3, season 4. I think Rob Lowe leaves in, like, season 5 or 6 or something. So he's still not all the way throughout the show, but he's on the front cover or whatever. I'm pretty sure he is, at least. But then you get the drama series, because comedy's fine. Casts come and go. Friends, it was always the same, even if they added extra characters, say, like Mike and stuff. They're not going to put him on the front cover. In fact, the main artwork is from the last season. It's them all in, like, tuxes and dresses and stuff. But then, like, the other images show them in their younger years, like, from season 1 through to 3 kind of deal. So, it's not many images. There's, like, 3 main images in the picture frames, and that's about it. Here are the boys, here are the girls, here's them at the end of the show. Here's them at the start, here's them at the end. It's a nice contrast. The Office obviously doesn't do that. It just, here's some good images of the people, we're going with that, But then you get drama series, and this is where I think it gets really tricky, because unless you're like the X-Files set, which came out before the Blu-ray set, mind you, this is the set that we have for the X-Files. We have since bought the last 2 seasons on Blu-ray, not the second movie, because that can burn in hell. It's a really nice set. It's got this nice kind of ambiguous nature to it. Aliens, you get Scully and Mulder in the middle of the eyeball. They're not even the center point of it. It's this whole thing as if they're being watched. It's emphasizing themes. You get a boat. Well, it's not a boat, it's actually a submarine. From like 1 episode. But it's a really pivotal episode. It's a good episode too. It's a boat. It's a submarine. And on the back, you don't even get details. You just get... I'm going to assume that's some kind of an abduction scene. And then you get the X-Files title on the top. And it does actually open up and boom, look, you get your main 2 characters in there before you get this whole entire really nicely bound together set. That's pretty good. I mean, it doesn't emphasize the fact that, the main 2 characters literally left the show by the end of it. It just focuses on them being the main characters. Aliens, conspiracies, weird shit. And it might be scary, but it could be fun and goofy, It's more of a creepier atmosphere kind of set, and I don't think any really since then has actually encapsulated the great imagery other than, look, it's those main 2 characters. Like, I think, if I'm not wrong, I think the main box set that they sell now, the complete series, has the images of, was it Gillian Anderson, David Duchovny from, like, season 11. It's like, wow, these 2 characters look pretty old. Fuck, that's going to be weird to watch. It's like selling Twin Peaks as a box set and just having a picture of Dale Cooper from Twin Peaks: The Return, and that's it. It'd be kind of a bit weird. I mean, it's iconic, but it's also like, alright, I guess. Oh, what? They already did? Oh, shit, they totally did do that, didn't they? They fucking did that for the complete, like, TV collection box set that you can get at JB. I got their limited edition set, which I've done a video on, which I'm not going to display in this video because it's a limited edition release. It's got the whole entire show. It's got a 4K disc for the pilot and part 8 of season 3. It's a really nice set. It's just trees, and it has Twin Peaks. Then it opens up and it has the Red Room. It's beautiful. It knows what the environment of the area looks like. Trees. It's what's iconic to the show. There's a lot of iconic stuff to the show. That's why the Red Room is on the inside. It's just a very nicely designed box. But then there's a box set which I don't particularly like, because I like the X-Files one. It's creepy. It's interesting. It draws you in. It's even got like this kind of magnetic shine to it, a reflectiveness to it that really emphasizes that it catches your eye when the light hits off it. You want to look at what that is. The Office is fine. In terms of design, cheap cardboard that just houses a bunch of DVDs that you could get separately anyway. Sure, why not? I just thought it'll be easy if I just buy the whole box set. It's usually cheaper that way, and it means I just have it in one set, so I don't have to worry about it. But then there's a show I'm currently watching. I'm currently in the last season of it, and despite the fact that each season's artwork is really nice, despite one season in particular being different to the Australian artwork because it's the British release of the set, which I do prefer because the Australian set, not as good, just a regular cardboard kind of fold-out box, much like with Breaking Bad and even Better Call Saul. I'm talking about Mad Men. Now, I guess minor spoilers, but I'm not going to spoil any plot details. Am I? Okay, well, firstly, it slides out, which is nice. You get a red box for the most part. Everything else is individual seasons. I'm currently missing part 1 of season 7 because it's over there. It's actually noted as the final season, part 1 and part 2, not season 7. It's the same as Breaking Bad. I specifically bought this box because it was a lot cheaper to buy it from someone on Facebook than it was to buy it on eBay. And even the back design still shows you all the individual covers, which is nice, you know? It doesn't really spoil anything, it's pretty good. Obviously, if you want to get spoiled on maybe characters who die or characters who age differently, you look at the back of all these discs, all these cases, and you notice the artwork. Oh, I wonder who that character is. They weren't in the first 3 seasons. I wonder if they're important to the last 4 seasons. Well, guess what, baby? You don't need to do that this time, despite the fact that it still has it on the back covers of most of these shows where... What do we got? Let's see. Season 4. No, it does show a character who isn't in the show anymore after another one of these seasons, but still, it's mostly main casting. Not bad, not bad, not bad. Alright, what about Season 5? Who do we got in Season 5? Season 5, again, look at that artistic. It's like a guy looking in a shop window with... Yeah. No, it's actually the exact same cast. Holy crap. Do we got to get to Season 6 before things start getting interesting? Yes. Except they don't really emphasize it. I kind of like that. The only one thing I have, which I'm not going to show for spoiler reasons, there's literally the main big image on the back of Season 6 is actually the final scene of the season, which is always a bizarre oddity to me as to why they want to show that off. But there's a lot of ensemble cast shows. You don't want spoilers as to who's going to be alive. What do you mean Vikings Season 4 shows who are all the main characters in this season, despite the fact that, you know, you think they're going to die a lot earlier, that kind of stuff. I remember when Vikings came out and it was like the first 3 seasons was just Ragnar on the front cover, or like the big V, the letter V, you know, their icon for the show. And then by Season 4, Part 1, hey look, here's the whole cast. And look, they're in like the throne room. Oh look, what's that? Ragnar's the king? Oh shit, I hope this isn't a spoiler. There is more creative art. That's an individual season I got individually. This is the same. Mad Men this is an individual set, but it comes as a collective box set. I think I can actually scan each one of these. I can scan each one of these Blu-rays individually because they all have individual barcodes. So this isn't designed as a set, it's just a box that encapsulates it. Much like with The Office. X-Files, no, it's designed specifically that way. Sopranos, I've got the Blu-ray set which shows each individual face of the main characters. It's like, technically by like Season 7 standards, by, these are the main characters who basically exist for the whole entire show and are there by the time season 7 comes around. So I'm pretty sure none of his kids are on the front cover, but like you could imagine like AJ with like his goatee on the front cover, and it's like, oh, I guess AJ is going to be fine for the whole entire duration of this show. There are characters like that. I'm pretty sure they don't do that with Sopranos though. But it's still like, if you don't want spoilers, go for each season as it goes. But for the most part, it's just going to show you an image of them. But luckily, they don't really change that much in the 7 years of the show. Realistically, outside of the kids, the adults don't really look very different between season 1 to season 7. So I don't have much criticism there, and I do like the artistic value of, hey, despite the back cover still having showing the cast in different images and whatever, because you still got to do that. You don't have to, but they still do. So you'll know by season 3, oh, this character's dead because they're not on the back cover anymore. Oh, who's this new character? Oh, that kind of bullshit. My main pet peeve of the Mad Men set, despite the fact that I like the design of it, is the box on the cover. Because it's a selection, as you can see, of images of people. Now you might be wondering, oh, I wonder if that's like a collage from the years of the show. No, it isn't. This is from the last season. Basically, by the last 2 seasons, all these characters are exactly how they look like here. That guy has a beard. She's grown up because it has the picture of his daughter from the final season. Oh, look, there's Don. There's Don and this nice woman that he's with. I wonder if that's his wife. Oh, look, here's 2 random people who seem to be a couple. I hope they're not married because the main character got divorced. Oh, shit. It literally spoils the fact that the main character gets a divorce and remarries, and it's all on the front cover. Like there's even a character here who's literally only in 2 seasons of the show. There are a couple characters here who are only in 2 seasons of the show. Technically 3 if you count season set, like the final season as 2 different seasons. I mean, most of it's fine, but like, oh, actually, one of the images of one of the guys, he doesn't have an eye patch. That's interesting because he has an eye patch for 2 seasons basically. So this is arguably, I would say, maybe artwork from probably season 6 at the latest. Yeah. I'd have to go with season 6 at the latest. But there's a character in here that I didn't even recognize on the front cover. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? And he's there from the 1st season, but it's showing an image of him from season 6, and because the hairstyle has changed, he's got a completely different hairstyle and completely different glasses. There are other characters who are like key players in the first few seasons who are just not on the artwork at all. Actually, there was one whole character who I actually have not seen at all on this. Okay, he's there. I've seen 1 image of him. 1. A really important character for like the whole duration of the show, and I've seen, 2, he's buried underneath the Mad Men title. It's always the same images on a rotation. But still, I've seen 2 images, it's the exact same image of him. It's so bizarre to me, like, does this really stipulate what Mad Men is as a show? A bunch of people in black and white photographs. Does it? I don't know. It kind of seems, I'm not going to say it seems worthless, but it's, in terms of as a creative thing, and this is a show that's about advertising, not really, but like it's a drama, and the main characters work in advertising, hence the term Mad Men, and yet the artwork from the back, the whole collection, complete collection set, is kind of dull. Like, not dull, it's still nice to look at, because again, what isn't when you're looking at a collage of images, but it's like, I feel like there was something else that they could have done with it. Again, like how the Friday the 13th series is like, hey, what if we have like all these different pictures of, of Jason, and what if we have select images of our cast, usually by the last 2-3 seasons of the show for The Office, including one of the other characters who's left by season 7. Maybe it's all the images from season 7 of the show. I don't know, all the hairstyles that kind of vary throughout the show. X-Files, I think, still does it really well. Let's see, Mad Men. Oh my god, I hate... Do you ever type and it puts in full stops for you? It's really annoying. Okay, so it comes up with the British set, which is the one that I have. Oh no, the Australian set's the exact same! Holy shit! The Australian set is the exact same, except as you can see there, because that's the Australian logo. I think this is the American set. So the American set, that's the British set, but the Australian set looks identical to that. I don't think they have any more images of it. Like, even the one I got, which is still fine. Like, I mean, there's this set, but it's season 1 through to 6, and that's just a picture of Don, which is fine. I think it's a little boring when people do that. Oh, okay. So there was actually a collector's set, which is similar to what I have, but different. This must be like the US set. They had a collector's set with booklets and drinks and everything. It's a nice looking set. I got the British set, which I still think is a good set. I don't know. I feel like with Mad Men, they could have done something a little different, but instead they're like, let's focus on the cast for the last, 3 seasons of the show and what they all look like. Even if some of the relationships might change. Like, currently, as I'm watching, Don and his wife are going through a bit of a rocky patch. I don't know if they're going to break up. I don't know if he's going to be single by the end of the show. Does it matter? Not particularly, but if the artwork on here is to be believed, they're probably still together. But then at the same time, another one of these characters literally loses his eye, so he has an eye patch. There are some funny scenes that come out of it. It's pretty good, actually. But yeah, it's just a bit of a disappointment when you get to shows like this that can have you look at the opening credit scene for Mad Men, and it's the silhouettes, the buildings, the advertisements. You could just have that, just that one shot of Don in his a silhouette looking out a window, or falling through this fucking, I don't know, falling through the buildings, or sitting down at his table before everything comes falling up underneath his feet. I understand that it's more of a visual metaphor for, what's basically going to happen over the duration of the show. Obviously, there are some movies and shows that have an iconic imagery, maybe an item or something that they could focus on, say, the Harry Potter 4K set has, the golden snitch. And that's not bad, because even individually, when you take out each case, it's showing, a main item from each, film. It's the Philosopher's Stone. Actually, the first one isn't. It's the hat. What's the second one? I don't know. But the third one's, the prisoner, the Sirius Black's, sign that he holds, to have his name and details written, whatever. I'm blanking on names, but still, each one has a particular image, which is nicely iconic to each in particular film. And that's a wide release set, They could sell Harry Potter just on Golden Snitch. You know exactly what that is. It's from Harry Potter. They don't have a piece of all the imagery of all the main characters like they do now, especially, reprints of different sets. Oh, we're going to re-release this but with different artwork, whatever. The DVD set is like Hogwarts, and you got picture frames of the characters, which again, I guess works because it's still relevant to the films. They've got picture frames of people and, art frames, and the people move and whatever, so it still kind of works. But, it shows off them maybe throughout the years, or maybe it's all of them from the last film. But can you do that with all of them from the last film if some of them are dead? I don't know, sometimes it is what it is. What about the 2 different Dumbledores? You're going to show off, That's a curious one, because when they released the Fantastic Beasts trilogy, I know, they made 3 of them. When they released the trilogy as a set, they released it with, here's... is his name Newt, really? Newt, and he's got a wand and he's doing that. And then behind him is Dumbledore from the 3rd film, because of the beard. And he's just standing there. And then look, there's a few Fantastic Beasts, really, really small ones, there's that one from the first one, that shit's gold. There's that little Bone Truckle one, and maybe this one here, which is probably from the 3rd film, I haven't seen it. And even though 2 of them were from the first film anyway. And there's Hogwarts in the background, I think. I'm pretty sure, because it's we're going to have visual imagery of Harry Potter. I know the castle is in the 2nd and 3rd film, or at least I'm assuming it's in the 3rd film. I don't know. But I know it's in the 2nd film, but it's not important to the film. It is. It's not important to the series, realistically, but it kind of is in the second one. It's not really. They just meet up there and chat for 5 minutes and they fuck off. You know, put it in the advertisement. We're going to have Hogwarts. We're going to take all the boxes. People aren't going to watch this movie. So yeah, but that's the thing. That's the trilogy. And instead of it being, oh, it's Newt and his best mate, that Muggle guy, and maybe his love interest, who isn't in the third film because she didn't want to be in it. Good for you, Catherine Waterston. I fucking love you. I also really like her as an actress in general, but still, that was really quite a disappointing thing when watching the sequel. And I'm like, oh, where is she? She's only in it for 5 minutes? What's going on? She's the only reason I'm here to watch this movie. Still. But she only in it for 5 minutes? Who cares? You probably don't know. You haven't seen it. Who the hell here watched fucking Crimes of Grindelwald? Did anyone? I don't fucking know. But still, it's like, you have a box set trilogy and the image is the main character and Dumbledore. Not even his best friend. Not even a really cool creature or something. I mean, there's the little creatures because, I don't know, cutesy stuff, even though I'm pretty sure the third one goes into really dark territory. And trust me, the second one already... Oh my god, they all do. Are these made for kids, realistically, these movies? So... yeah, I have no real suggestion what I do for Mad Men. I mean, you usually think base it off, like, the main title sequence. Frasier's box set, at least the British version... I know that the inside of the set, so when you take up the discs, they all have like this digipack sleeve, but it was actually the, you know how they got the opening credits for Frasier, which there's no really a credit sequence, it just has little piano beats, is it piano? Little jazzy beats, and it has like the Seattle skyline, and it says Frasier. And it has different colours for each season. Maybe they'll have like weather clouds over some episodes, maybe they'll have just a little animation of something to show, oh, it's a really stormy episode this time, or, I don't know, it's raining. How else do they visually describe it? There's a hot air balloon. I don't know, some bullshit like that. But that's such an iconic thing of Frasier, that particular silhouette of the skyline, that they used that on the DVD set for each individual season, connecting them all. For each individual colour, which was great. Sure, the outside of the box is, hey, here's Eddie on the back. Here's Frasier on the front. Here's his family. You know, it still did that. I'm pretty sure it had, like, the title of Frasier on one side. The other side was all the discs. Eddie was on the back. And Frasier and his family on the front. I'm pretty sure that's what they did for it. I mean, that's still fine. It's a sitcom. Sure, they're all still there from the start to the end. None of those characters leave. They're all still there. So sure, have them from, like, season 9 through to 11... or maybe more attractively, if you want to argue that they're more attractive in, like, the middle of the show, but definitely not the start of the show. Have you seen the start of Frasier? His hair is abysmal. I know he doesn't have much to begin with, but it's fucking Shakespearean level of bad. So, like, the images of Shakespeare, the people that you see, I don't know, is he a fictional guy? Who cares? But still, that's the image that they show, and it's bad. So, you know, it's a sitcom. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, the dog's iconic, sure. The dog survived 11 seasons. I say that, of course the dog can survive. I remember dogs can live for a long fucking time. I just want to note, I've got the Buffy set. And the Buffy set's not bad for its front cover. It's basically like the front is like all the heroes, kind of. I mean, Spike still shows Angel, who changes from back to forth. But it has Dawn as well, who's not in the show till like the last 2.5 seasons. But then it also has, you know, on the spine, you've got a silhouette of Buffy, you've got a stake and everything. It works, has the same on the other side, but then the back showcases some other side characters, from other heroes to other villains, some people who don't survive the whole show, some people who aren't even in it for most of the show, or in it for like a season or two. One person in particular, back there, is only in it for a single season, so, yeah, it's interesting. There are just sets that clearly need different design choices. I don't know what the design choice here for Mad Men was. Is it necessary to have, like, it looks like all the characters have just gone to a photo booth for an afternoon and just gotten pictures done? And I'm like, sure, I guess. I mean, it's ensemble cast kind of thing. Doesn't really emphasize drama. It emphasizes that some of these characters are related because it has Don and his daughter and Don and his wife. Second wife... It doesn't even have his first wife. She has an individual frame, and then she's with her husband for the other frame. Doesn't have their son on it. I don't know. I'm not a graphic designer. I can't just like suggest improvements, but I can at least think like there could have been a more collective image to focus it on, you know. But maybe they wanted the selling point to be all these people's faces and be like, hey, people are gonna see that box and be like, hey, that's Madman. But if fans of the show are gonna be like, hey, that's Madman, because it's like it's the image from like the main title sequence or something, you know. Maybe it's just a big picture of Don and it just says Madman, you know. Maybe it has images of some of the other main characters, like his two wives and his colleagues on the other images and his daughter and whatever. Like, they could have, I don't know, that still sounds really fucking painfully generic, but still, yeah, it's interesting. And it's a show that's like, it's not just about the fact that it's all these characters working in ad agency. It's from the 60s through to the early 70s, you know, like, that's a long period of time, and they choose a very kind of late 60s, basically a late 60s image to go for. So they all kind of look period piecey in a way, sure, but they don't get to, like, Peggy has one whole hairstyle for like 2 whole seasons, and then she changes it for the 3rd season, changes it again she basically gets a different haircut each fucking season after that. Joan's the other one I was thinking of. She basically looks the same throughout the whole show, and she's still showcased here on the front, which is great. There's a lot of great characters who are still represented on the front of the set. It's just interesting. Like, who do you choose? Do you choose the characters who are only in 2 seasons? Do you choose characters who aren't really major players? What if they're not major players by the last season? Does it matter? How do you decide that? Like even the X-Files doesn't have the Smoky Man. It doesn't have Skinner. It doesn't have, was it Robert Duvall? I don't know. It doesn't have Robert Patrick. It doesn't have Robert Patrick, or I'm pretty sure there was a girl who replaced Scully. It doesn't have her either. None of them. It's just Mulder and Scully in the middle of an eyeball, aliens in silhouettes, some kind of a submarine, and some kind of what looks like either an abduction or an experimentation scene, and then you open it up and you get Scully and Mulder in bigger faces. So, I don't know. X-Files fucking wins. It's a good set. It's a really nicely designed set. Even the cases, the booklet and the inside, which I don't think it actually has. Maybe it was meant to have the booklet and it didn't come with one, but then Friends has a booklet. I think that's how it worked. I think the X-Files set was meant to have a booklet, but it didn't come with a booklet for some reason. Anyway, that's my ranting over. I don't know what to improve for the Mad Men one. It's just Mad Men. I'm looking at it every fucking day. I'm thinking, I don't know who half these characters are by the first season. By like season 4, you don't know who half of the characters are. They just appear in the second half of the show, and it's like, okay, I guess these are the main characters now. You know. Anyway, that's all for now. Thanks for watching. What would you suggest? If you've got a favourite show that has like a box set for Blu-ray, DVD, artwork, whatever, what do you like about those sets? Do you like if they're like custom ones, like the Friday the 13th one, where they actually got someone to come in and make a whole lithograph and they just plastered it on the box? You know, do you like how they've done the Mad Men one, or The Office, or the X-Files thing? Let me know, and I'll see you next time. Adios. But like, sometimes just the one character or the main character and like a colored background is fine. Like, think of the Godzilla sets. Sometimes it's just Godzilla on a colorful background. You know,